Let things take time. Let things not happen overnight. We live in this world that is obsessed with instant gratification, and we see that because things are just getting faster and faster and faster because the dopamine that comes from the instant gratification is addictive. And we see buy it now, 2-day shipping, overnight shipping, on your door the next morning. We see not just like in marketing, but like post something online, get instant feedback, instant likes, instant attention, or get an instant download. Have the book in your phone today, the music in your phone right now. Even like companies are making it so web pages load faster so you don't have to wait, because that time that it takes to wait will lose your attention, lose your focus, and we're becoming wired to become obsessed with instant results. And then what ends up happening is when things in real life take time to develop, we get anxious, we get frustrated, we get angry, and we either run away from it or we quit. Because if it's not happening immediately, that must mean it's not going to happen at all. Think about how many times you've maybe started a hobby and you couldn't get into it right away. It didn't become perfect immediately. You weren't immediately good at it, so you gave up. You no longer did it anymore, because if you weren't good at it from the start, why would you keep trying? The dopamine hit that you get from starting something, like, I don't know, learning to crochet, maybe you mess it up. That doesn't feel as rewarding as, say, maybe playing a video game and it takes you like 2 seconds, you press A few times, and now there's a cheer thing on your screen because you completed a quest and all you had to do was press A few times, and they're telling you like, oh, you're the champion of the game, like you're the hero. You feel good. It's instant, it's fast. And I'm not saying that to knock video games. I, too, have my guilty pleasures. But I'm just saying that because in real life, things don't always happen as instantly as we want them to, right? We start a new skill, we're learning something brand new, and it takes time for us to get good at it. Maybe we're learning to bake, we're learning to cook, we're gonna fail, we're gonna make mistakes, and it's gonna take a while to get better at it and to see tangible results. Or you're working towards like a long-term financial goal that isn't just gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna get the credit score up tomorrow. Maybe that's gonna take a while because you've got something on your credit history from 7 years ago that's still following you, and it's gonna take a while to get to that point. Or you're building a savings account and it's taking a while. Whatever it may be, think of it like, I think in these moments, right, where there's something you're hoping to achieve and it's taking way longer than you want it to, I want you to think about the idea of like gardening, right? You plant a seed. You cannot force, actually there probably is technology. That's the worst part. There probably is technology that can force things to grow fast, but in a world without technology, right? You plant the seed in the soil, you water it, and you wait. No matter what you do, no matter how much more you water it, how many times per day you water it, how many times you move it around in the sun, change the soil, adjust the pot, put it in a higher position, a lower position, outside, inside, in the window, out of the window, no matter what you do, you cannot force the seed to sprout a fruit tomorrow. It's going to take time. And how, like the visual even of like, I feel like screaming at the plant, like, produce the fruit, produce the fruit. Like, it feels silly because logically in your head that you cannot, the day you plant the seed is not the day that you take and harvest the fruits or the vegetable or whatever it is. It doesn't happen that way because it's nature and it has its time, it has its season, right? We're not going to try to force pumpkins to grow in, the middle of spring. We're not going to get strawberries to grow in the dead of winter too, right? We have our seasons. We have to be patient. I want strawberries, but it's snowing outside and I can't go and plant a seed outside in the snow and expect the strawberry to be there tomorrow, or the mango. I have to wait until the season, right? We have life moving in cycles, in seasons, and things take time. But we forget about this when we're being hyper conditioned to expect instant, quick wins, instant results. And sometimes it's hard too. Maybe you see somebody next to you or on social media who maybe has the same goal as you or is learning the same skill as you, and maybe for them it is instant, right? I think about like people who maybe are trying to build a savings account or trying to pay back debt, and for one person, or let's just say there's two people and they're both making the same salary, but one pays it off faster than the other, right? And then the one person who's taking their time feels like, well, if we're making the same amount, why am I not paying it off at the same speed as them? If they were able to do it in 5 months and it's taking me 10 months, why? Also remember too that everyone's circumstances are different. Maybe the person who is making the same amount as you has a lower rent because they have roommates and they don't have the same expenses as you. Or maybe they also have a second income that you don't know about. Or they're getting financial help from a family member, right? And then you're comparing your speed to their speed and seeing like, well, it's faster for them, it should be faster for me, but we all move at different cycles and we all move at different speeds. And just because Amazon has made it universally acceptable that we can all have 2-day shipping doesn't mean that that's going to be the reality for things that are just happening in regular life, regular, daily, non-technology related skills. And even going back to the seed planting, maybe you plant a seed and your neighbor plants a seed, but they've got 20 years of gardening experience and you have 5. So your neighbor knows way more and they're able to harvest their, like a bigger fruit. Maybe they know something. I don't know anything about gardening, so I don't know, but like maybe they have some magic seeds or something, some special soil that they use, some tips and tricks to make the fruit grow bigger. I don't know. You get what I'm saying though. We can't compare our journey to other people's journeys because we also don't know what their circumstances look like, and just because they're moving at a different speed doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your speed. Okay, you know what? I don't even like to edit my videos. I just want to upload them raw and just share from the heart. But once I finished that one, I was like, wait, no, I have more. So hence the choppy cut. I finished it and was like, no, wait, I have more I want to say, which is also too, when we're in this process of like rushing to accomplish something, or like force rushing our progress to trying to make things go faster, like the amount of times that something could go wrong could happen. Like I think about people who, like if you have like a athletic goal, right? You're trying to run a mile in like 5 minutes. I don't even know if that's possible, but hypothetically, right? You're trying to run a mile in like 5 minutes and maybe you're at like 7 minutes, and that's as good as you get. 7 minutes is as good as you can do. So because you're impatient and you're like, well, I need to be at 5 minutes because that's my goal. So then you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing yourself, trying to make that happen fast, trying to accomplish that goal fast. You end up like destroying your body in the process, exhausting yourself, putting yourself at risk of injury by trying to force the thing to go fast, right? It's like the same thing if we're rushing watering the plant and we're just like watering and watering and watering. Where's my fruit? Where's my fruit? And we kill the plant. The plant drowns from too much water, right? Or we leave it out in the sun for too long and it dries up. Now it has no water because we've been so like, the plant needs the sun. Where's my fruit? Rushing also doesn't make it happen faster, and that's why I'm saying we need to let things take time. let things develop. Also, maybe in that time, from getting to point A to point B, learning the skill, accomplishing the goal, reaching the milestone, in that time that it takes to accomplish it, maybe something new happens. Maybe you encounter like a mentor who unlocks something for you and helps you get some opportunity that you weren't expecting towards the end of the goal, right? Like maybe the goal is to run a mile in 5 minutes, just sticking with that example. And in the process of taking it slow and building up your speed every day, maybe you stumble upon like a run club and meet your best friend, and like now you have someone to train with every day. Maybe they have the same goal, but if you kept rushing it and trying to force the thing to happen, you're not letting that space for the magic to happen and for things to just flow organically and for things to unfold the way that they should. Maybe you're also on the brink of accomplishing it. I think of like those like motivational pictures. You ever see those where it's like somebody's mining and like they're both like mining trying to get to the end of the tunnel or something, and like they're like both like got this much space left, but the one guy quits right when he's like right at the end of the tunnel because he's like, oh, I've been going at it for so long. But like, what if you're on the brink? What if that's you? What if you're mining and you're almost at the end? You're almost at the tunnel. And it's just because you were getting impatient that you quit when you were on the brink of making it all happen. Because you have that 2-day shipping mentality. You have that instant gratification mentality, and you gave up right when it was about to blossom for you. You would not know that if you didn't allow the space for things to flow organically, for things to happen at a slow speed. Slow doesn't mean no progress. And even too, maybe things are taking time and you have some highs and lows, fluctuations. That is normal. Maybe your run time today was 7 minutes and then the next day it's 8, but then the day after that it's 6. That's normal. It doesn't mean that you're not making progress. Progress isn't linear either. But again, if we run 7 minutes today and then tomorrow we hit 8 and then we quit because we're thinking, oh, well, that's it for me. I didn't hit 6 minutes today. I'm not making any progress. This is taking too long. I give up. Then we would have never made it to see the next day where we actually hit the 6 minutes. Bear with me in my analogies. I'm trying to make this more concrete for you. Yeah. It's like we don't rush nature. We don't rush seasons. Maybe we wait eagerly. Like, I love fall. I'm not trying to be sitting out here in 90-degree weather. I'm ready to see a crisp autumn leaf. But I know that it has its time. And I know that when it's there, I will treasure it. And then I will yearn for the spring once it hits winter. But in the time that we're in the winter, I will sit there, and even though it's not my favorite season, I'm not going to be spending it just every single day waiting for the leaves to start blossoming again. I will embrace the cold. I will get under the covers, and I will find a way to enjoy the season. That's the way that we need to start approaching our progress. When things are taking time, maybe it's not the season right now for you to have overnight instant success. Maybe it's taking a while. How can you enjoy the most of it? How could you find a way to be present and embrace whatever phase of life you're in right now? Because there might be something magical there for you. Also, how many times has it happened to you where you are in a season where the thing has accomplished, you've accomplished the goal, and like maybe everything starts getting really busy and you're like just yearning for that break, yearning for things to be slow. So if something is not happening right now and it's taking its time, embrace the fact that maybe you're not overwhelmed right now. You have a moment to breathe. You have a break, right? Maybe when you have that goal, when you've accomplished the thing, sure, maybe it unlocks another chapter, another quest of your life, right? Maybe you're saving to buy a house and you're just eagerly waiting for the right amount of money to be in your savings account for the down payment. But then the time comes and maybe you rush that phase, you get there, you buy the house, and now suddenly you're overwhelmed with moving, you're overwhelmed with getting furniture, you're overwhelmed with all this stuff happening, and you enter a busy phase. You did not appreciate and enjoy the slow period of building that solid foundation for yourself. Enjoy taking your time, because sometimes we don't always have the luxury of taking our time. Anyway, that's really all I've got for now. As I was saying before, I was closing out my previous video, it's just some food for thought, some reflections, stuff I've been thinking about, because it is Mercury retrograde, which is a time for slowing down and letting things take time and reflecting and revisiting and being patient and not forcing things to happen immediately. And maybe you're experiencing that too, and this advice or this insight might be helpful if you feel that you are rushing something, trying to accomplish something in your life, have something, obtain something, be somewhere, enter a new chapter of your life, right? And it's not happening the way you want it to. What did I say before? I said, you're not Amazon. So don't expect yourself to have 2-day shipping, or what is it, next same day delivery, right? That's Amazon. You're not AI. So give yourself some grace and just wait for the harvest. That's all I got now. Bye.